Hey guys, how you doing? Sometimes it will be your own family members and your own relatives who will take a situation that has happened that is so small and so sometimes even insignificant or just petty, and they will use it as a tool to manipulate you into doing exactly what it is that they believe you need to do in order for them to make them happy. And the truth of the matter is, it wouldn't matter what you did or what you said. Nothing that you could do would make them happy, because the truth is they're projecting their own issues, fears, and mostly control dramas on you. And the worst thing about it is, now, I don't know if you're understanding me on this one. I hope so. But to be honest with you, it's actually a real shame if you do, because that means that you have first-hand knowledge in this, or you're around people that do. And it can be heartbreaking to know that relatives and people that you consider to be the closest to you, or just close to you because you're blood related, maybe you don't even have a constant connection, but because you're blood relatives, you assume in your mind that they couldn't possibly wish you any wrongdoing or harm. And it will be strangers, it will be people that you've just met, who will have better intentions for you than the people who you class as family, as relatives, as blood relatives. And that to me is so sad. For example, it's one of the things that has always hurt me, I guess because I see these people sometimes, but one of my mom's brothers, years ago, my daughter's now nearly 17, it was her christening, and I had organised the entire thing, as you do as a new parent. I was excited, and to have the money even just to do it. I became a mum under 30, so I'm working my 9 to 5 and trying to become an entrepreneur. I've been trying to do that for as long as possible. I've tried everything in the book, but that's for another story. Cut a long story short, I had to work with what I had. I was living in my grandparents' home. It was, a decent sized home here in the UK, upstairs, downstairs, but not enough space for 200 people. And it's not to say that even 200 people would have wanted to come back to my house on the day of the baptism, but I had no choice, because the church service was at 10 and it was for an hour. It's Catholic, and the evening celebration was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There's a big gap in between, and I did not have the space to hold all these guests who would probably want to come back and chill and do God knows what until the evening service. I know, because I've seen it happen with people who do have spaces and who do have big gardens. So I'm like, well, I can't do that. So the logical thing would be then to send out invitations for everybody to only attend the evening service. So this is all my family, friends and relatives. And the church service, I just kept simple: godparents, grandparents, and obviously parents and baby. I kept it very small. It was extremely intimate. And there was one great grandparent before she passed away. And it was a blessing, and it was beautiful. And for those that were there, they said how different it was and how intimate it was, and it was lovely. I wish I could have had it the original way, where you've got everybody there, but I couldn't, so I worked with what I had. Anyway, a rumour goes around once they get the invitations that I just don't want them there, because I don't see them as family, and I don't see them as important, and I don't see them as this, and I don't see them as that. And most of this rumour came from that uncle's wife. I don't know what her issue was. We won't bother to get into that, okay? I'm not a psychologist. But here's the thing. That rumour then turned into what is now being a 15-year issue, a 15-year problem. And I'm already having manipulations going on with a parent who likes to turn certain very small things into embellished issues, and then utilize those same people as her her storyboard, so that they can then, I guess because they already know that they have these unsubstantiated issues with my existence, so when you're giving them stories about what I've done and what I haven't done and what I could have done, they're quick to agree with it. Of course they would be. You know, they've already got these ideas in their head. Never witnessed anything happen, never witnessed anything bad, but it's the perfect backdrop to what they already believe in their mind. I personally just couldn't be that nice of a person or that good of a person. It's just not possible, or somehow, I don't know, but it just fits perfectly. This particular uncle then comes to my christening, the evening session. He comes on his own. He's not with any of the other family members, and there are a lot of them. And I was wondering where they all were, and he told me it was too cold for them to come. I said, oh dear, well, okay. I said, well, thank you so much for you coming. And he said, I'm not here for you. I'm here for your mum. And I said, oh, let me say that again. The baptism that I organised and the baptism that I put out there for my child to celebrate becoming a new mum, having not had any of these people in my life for the majority of my formative years, you're going to now tell me that you have only come to the baptism not to celebrate me and my child. You've come to celebrate your sister, who is a grandparent. She did not birth this child. She was not involved in the conception. I'm pretty sure of that. And she definitely wasn't involved in the payments to have this thing come together. She is a grandparent who's supposed to be celebrating her daughter and her grandchild. And it was a big F you right in my face. And there's never been an apology. There's never been any understanding. There's never been any acceptance for anything that I've said regarding my decision to have it be that way. But most importantly, why would your brain even think that something like that is okay to say and to it? And now 17 or 16 years later, I am still looked down upon. I am still talked about. I'm still given the cold shoulder. It's the most ridiculous and petty and egregious thing that you can do to another individual who does not know what they could have done apart from exist. That is it. And for that reason, I think that's one of the reasons why I make videos like this and why I've even got into spiritual aspects of the world, because it has saved me from honestly going completely crazy. Because if I do not connect myself to something bigger than myself, I will be constantly questioning why am I treated this way? Why is this happening? What could I do to make this better? Because, you know, one of the things I've done when it comes to people in general, because of my family members, and no, it's not all of them, but people like this, especially if it's one of them is a parent, I became a people pleaser and started to give more than I ever needed to give, and never really questioned. And then by the time I questioned, it was too late, because now they're wondering why I have the nerve to want more for myself and want more from them when they've been given open access to my time and my energy and my gifts and my love and my attention. I guess because you go out there looking for more than what is presented to you by the people that you believe should be presenting it to you without any fault, without any question. They should just love you because they're family. Especially if they have absolutely nothing that they can speak on that you've done that would cause them to look down upon you. You're not, doing bad things. You're not a criminal. You're not, nothing. You work, you take care of your children, you visit when you can. That's it. You're doing what society says you're supposed to do, and you're doing it the best way you know possible. What is there to bitch and moan about? Nothing. Just their own control dramas and their own issues that they've taken and wrapped up in a dirty bow and placed on your lap and said, here you go. And then stood back and gaslit you and said, look at you. And I have to turn to other things in order to stop myself from going completely nuts. It be your own family that will drive you completely crazy and have you looking at all the wrong places and searching all the wrong corners for the love and the acceptance that you require. And the truth of the matter is, you're never going to get it from anybody until you start to look this direction. Honest to God, you're never going to get it. It's never going to come. I don't know who that can help, but I don't even know if it was to help anyone. Just know that you're not the only one. You're not the only one. Start looking within. I'm right there with you. Honestly, I'm right there with you. Take care, guys.